Hey team, what's going on? Let's get this title edited so that it's correct. Here we go. Episode 16. That's what we're on today. If you're here and watching live, drop me some love. Let me know how you're doing. Episode 16. Yes, there we go. Now we got all updated. Boom. We're going to get started here in a little under 2 minutes, just about 90 seconds, about how to audit your pipeline and unlock some new clients. So this is for you if you've already actively coaching. You could use some clients. I'm going to share with you exactly what to do, the mindset and the framework to make it happen. If you know what to do, if you're sipping on your cold brew coffee or you have your coffee right now, drop me some fire emojis. Want to show you some love. I appreciate your guys' comments, your reactions, your shares when you're here live, and it means the world even after when you guys do that. So appreciate that a whole ton. We're going to have a good time today, and as we always do, and I'm going to be sharing with you how to audit your pipeline, what to do, where your clients are hiding, and walk you through how we show our Get Clients students exactly how to do this so that when they enter the program or anytime they're needing a sale, anytime they're running a little dry on revenue, they go through this process, they have it installed in their business, and they can use it to drive revenue and to drive revenue consistently. So if you're game with that, then you're in the right spot. Let me know where you're watching this. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, in the Facebook group and Leverage Coach, and on my profile. The only place we're not live is Instagram, I think. Methinks. So let me know where you're watching this live so I can show you some love or shout you out. Okay, let's do this and let's hop in this together. I'm going to show you guys the how-to. We're going to talk through this, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Hey, what's going on? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Welcome to the show. In our last episode, I shared with you the single easiest way to hold yourself back from 6 and 7 figures as an online coach. And I share with you in a very, very more driven spiritually, more esoteric, for some of you, maybe nebulous, mindset and process, and where to put your heart so that you can be attracting the results and the people that you are wanting, and most definitely to do a little bit of a self-analyzation to make sure that you're not driving away prospects, and make sure that you're not driving away the results that you're aiming for in your business, because sometimes you want something so dang bad that you push it away from you. But in today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is auditing your pipeline, how to audit your pipeline properly to unlock clients. For some of you, for many of you who actually do this and try this, you're going to unlock $10, $15, $20,000 in brand new revenue. But before we get into the how-to and the strategy behind this, it's important that we understand what happens if you don't implement today's episode in your online coaching business. The first thing that happens is that you lose leads in the cracks. That's right. Many of you, while you might have a CRM, many of you either don't use it or are using it so infrequently that it's causing for your results to be a little bit of a roller coaster. And what ends up happening is that, you probably aren't following my advice just yet. We're only 16 episodes in here, and you're on all of the social platforms trying to grow them all. You're on Instagram, and you're on Facebook, and you're on LinkedIn, and you're on YouTube, and you're on Facebook, and you're on TikTok, Snapchat. You're on all of them, and you're working actively to grow all of them. You're trying all the strategies. And what ends up happening is that you get a lead or two in. They message you your call to action. They DM you the word that you were asking. And they go to start a conversation with you. They find a piece of your content and they leave a comment. But because you're so spread thin, and because you're so infrequently and inconsistently using your CRM, and because you're managing your leads from your inboxes on your social platforms, maybe you have a flagging system. Even then, what ends up happening is you lose leads in the cracks. You're so spread thin, and you're leveraging the inbox on each platform, not moving it into a CRM. So what winds up happening is it takes you days to get back to warm prospects and hot prospects. And by the time you do, they're cold. They might not even remember why it is they reached out in that moment when you broke through to them through a piece of content or something that you shared, or when they were thinking about some help, like, let me reach out. And they took it as their sign from universe when you didn't respond back quickly that you weren't the right fit for them, or there was some subconscious thing that was like, okay, this person really doesn't want clients because they took 3 days to get back to me. I hit you up on Saturday. It's now Wednesday. And so the first thing that happens is you lose leads in the cracks. The second thing that happens is that your prospects become clients elsewhere. Is because you took so long to get back, or because you didn't follow up, or because you took so long in between in your touch bases and didn't add value to their lives, someone else did. And another coach with maybe a team or a bigger team than yours came in, gave them the love and the attention that they wanted, and they took that as their sign from the universe, from God, that, hey, this feels good, this sounds good, they understand me, let me go ahead and do this. And they don't even think about you anymore. Let me tell you, your prospects and your potential clients are not worried about your bank account nearly as much as you are. That's your inward focus. You got to be there for the outward focus. You got to be there to understand what their needs, wants, and desires are. And then on top of that, you got to be there and communicate back and forth with them in a timely fashion. So thing number one that happens is that you lose clients and prospects in the cracks. You lose your leads in the cracks. And then those prospects become clients, but they become a client in someone else's online coaching business. So that being said, this is what happens if you don't implement today's episode. Let's now shift gears and talk about what to do in order to audit your pipeline and to unlock 20K in brand new clients. Now, it's important that we start this off before we even get into number one, that if you are not actively using a CRM, a customer relationship management tool, or something to manage your leads, none of what I'm saying in this episode is going to have a lasting impact. This could be a spreadsheet that you use. This could be a piece of paper. This could be tape you put on a wall with Post-it notes that you manually move. But I can promise you that if you are relying on social media, on your inboxes, on each platform to be pushing every conversation to the new and next stages in your pipeline, then it's going to be really hard for you to be landing clients consistently. You're going to get some base hits and you're going to get a home run here and there. But it's going to be really hard to hit grand slams. It's going to be really hard to be getting people around the bases every time you're up at bat. And so if you don't have a tool to manage your pipeline, I made one for you. It's called GetBookedCRM. And it not only is going to make you feel empowered to get leads, so you're going to get more leads coming in, because of the way it's set up and because of the way I show you how to use it and manage it, you're going to get clients in half the time. A lot of this is because you either aren't using a CRM or you aren't using yours enough, or you feel a type of way about your business in this moment, and so you aren't actively driving results and getting leads, even though you might be showing up. You aren't really driving people to take action, and I give you some of the ways that I do it and some conversation starters, and then you can use your CRM to feel even more empowered about leads, to go and get some, and to fill up your pipeline. All you have to do is message me the letters CRM over on Instagram, instagram.com/whatupjeremy, or at whatupjeremy on any of the platforms. Message me the letters CRM and I'll get you a copy while it's still free. The first thing that you need to do once you're using your pipeline to audit it and to actually unlock and uncover some hidden revenue is the first thing you need to ask is, and these are 3 questions you're going to be asking, right, that we're going to be covering. It's who? Who is in my pipeline? And if you're one of those who's been a little inconsistent and either you have some leads in yours, but you know you have other leads across your social platforms and in your email inbox, the first thing that you need to do is ask yourself, who is in my platform and who is not? Who do I need to add in that I started a conversation with while I was in the line at Starbucks, or who messaged me while I was at the gym getting my steps in that I didn't mark as a lead and put into my pipeline? So the first thing you need to ask is, who? And so with GetBookedCRM or with whatever CRM you have, you need to open it up. And you're probably going to need to do a little tidying it up as well. And you're going to want to update the dates on each card. I call it touch each card, touch each lead, touch each person, and just open it up and see what was the last bit of correspondence. When was the last time that you chatted with them? And this is easy to get dejected upon when it's the end of April and your due date to get back to them was like April 3rd. But you need to get back to them and you need to check in on them because they could still be out there with a problem that it's your ethical duty to help them to solve if you have the right solution for them. So the first thing you need to ask is, who is in my pipeline? You open up your CRM and you take a look at who's in there. You add the folks to it that you haven't added in just yet. And then you're going to be looking at the stages. you're going to be looking at who is coldest versus who is warmest. And I always recommend you start with hottest and work your way to cold. The hottest leads might be people who have gotten on a sales call with you but didn't sign up for one reason or another. This could be past clients. This could be referrals that are at a stage that you just need to reach out to. These are just people who have already made it pretty much through all of your sales process, but didn't buy for one reason or another. You need to touch base with those people. You can find them in your Calendly through your past booked calls. You can find them in your DMs when you scroll through and then make sure they get inside of your CRM. But the first thing you want to do is look into your, like, I call it hot leads list, or also into your follow-up list of folks who either they didn't buy or they didn't even make it to a call, even though you invited them in. The first thing you need to do to audit your pipeline, to uncover hidden revenue, is you need to ask yourself, who is in my pipeline? Grab any leads you have scattered in your email inbox, in your Instagram, and make sure they get into your pipeline. And then you're going to start working your way from hottest to coldest. That's thing number one. With that in mind, the next question you're going to be asking yourself on a prospect by prospect basis until you get warmed up at this, even on your first time, is what message can I send them? A lot of coaches have the notion that every single message sent to a potential prospect is 100% custom to them. And I have to break the news to you that the best and highest level, most elite coaches in the world, they do not come up with new custom messages for every single person they reach out to. They might customize a message for them, but they predetermine what messages get sent at each stage in their pipeline. They take the thinking out of it, and that's what you need to do as well. So even though this might be your first time ever doing an audit on your pipeline, what you're going to say is, okay, I have Jim here, and Jim got all the way through a sales call, said he was going to talk with his wife, and then kind of ghosted me. Okay, so what stage is he at? He's hot, made it to a sales call, showed up but didn't buy. So we have a little bit of an open loop, haven't heard from him. What can I send Jim in order to re-grab his attention and to also advance him into the next stages of my pipeline? And so what that might mean is just like sending him his first name with a question mark. Like if it's on DM, Jim? Question mark. Or if it's through email, that might be, hey, Jim, are you still looking to get some clients? Are you still looking for this result that you help people with? And there's a message that you can take, hand selected from the Dean Jackson playbook of the 9-word email, turning it into a 9-word follow-up or a 9-word DM. It's, are you still looking for help with this thing? I help coaches get clients, so I'm often sending, are you still looking for some new clients? Or I'll say, do you still have room for some clients? Or if they said their goal was something else, I will word it with their goal in mind. But just sending their first name with a question mark often does the trick and does all the heavy lifting. And then other times you can send them like the, are you still looking for? Or maybe you got some deep rapport with this prospect. This message works great, which is, hey, Jim, are you okay? Like, be concerned, be their friend, be on their side already. This is a message you'd get from a friend or a family member, a trusted mentor. Start playing into that role. So question number 2 is, what message can I send them? So that works great if they're hot and if they considered buying but didn't buy for one reason or another. But what if they didn't make it to a sales call? Well, you could say something like that 9-word. Are you still looking for some clients? Are you still looking for some help getting clients? That's a great one to get them reinterested and to say, okay, well, I have an open slot at this time, or cool if I send you my Calendly link and then you can pick a time that works and we can brainstorm a plan about this. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you've reopened the conversation. What also works across the boards is an invitation. So maybe you're like me and you have a Facebook group or you have a lead magnet or a PDF. You could say something like, hey, Jim, I put together this thing for coaches like them, for people like them, for moms looking for abs, or if it's Jim, to get your 5-star athlete body back, whatever it is that you're saying, to lose 5 pounds. I made this thing for it. Would you like it? Or like my favorite is if you have a group and they're not in there yet, but they're pretty far into your world, you could say, hey, Jim, dude, I noticed you weren't in my group. I got a couple hundred coaches. I have a dozen coaches. I'm putting together a group for coaches just like you where I share my best resources and where we can all network together. I'd love to have you in. If you're open to that, if you're game for that, let me know and I'll send you an invite here. And then now you've reopened the conversation and you've also done, on a side note, something that I think is important, which I call surround sound. You need to surround your prospects on an individual basis with your marketing, with your indoctrination, so to say. I prefer to have my prospects both in my Facebook group, on my email list, which usually means both of those. If they're on the group, it usually means they're on my list. If they're in my list, large chance they're also in my group. And then on social media, more specifically in the DM, I want them going back and forth with me. So I want to surround my prospects. And even though I'm not the biggest coach in the world, I'm bigger than some and I'm smaller than others. While I'm not the biggest coach, when I do that, my videos are now coming up in their feed. They're binging on this show. They're going to my YouTube. And you listening to this right now might be one of those people. And what ends up happening is that I go from person who just popped up in your world in one way or another, or I go from a coach that you discovered on social media to becoming the only option you would even consider, to becoming the authority, the big coach in your world. It doesn't take a lot to create this effect in your market and on a prospect by prospect basis. What it does take is some diligence in the pipeline to make it happen. For instance, yesterday, which was one of the things I plan on using this show for, I was going back and forth with someone who's considering joining us in the Get Clients program and be honored to work with them. And they had some questions, so I sent them the details on the program. And then they were asking about my philosophy. How do I help people? What's my philosophy? And, I look back through my note here and I say, okay, I talked about in episode 4, my general philosophy, specifically on leads. And I think that's what they're looking for. So I grabbed that link, I sent them the episode of the podcast, and I say, also, you're asking about my philosophy. Here's some of mine when it comes to leads. And so maybe they listen and I talk too fast. I too much. I rub them some wrong way. They hear a view of mine, or they don't really completely understand something, or they're against something that I say, and I completely repel them. That's okay too, because I'll at least stop the following up and the worrying and the all of that, which is perfectly fine too. And now they can go and find the right coach for them. But what happens more times than not is it creates the effect of, okay, I can tell that you know your stuff, but now, I know you're cool. I know we have a lot in common, or I know we have these things in common, and that changes the whole conversation. And you go from selling to providing and creating a transformation in your selling process, and then you wind up with a new client. So question number 1 you have to ask yourself is, who is in my pipeline? And you got to get them in there if they're not, and open up your CRM and check it out. Second thing you need to understand and ask yourself, what message can I send them? You're not looking for them to buy off of any individual message. You're just looking for them to respond. You're just looking to make sure they're okay. You're just looking to advance them to the next stage. The third thing to audit your pipeline and unlock up to 20K in revenue, sometimes more, is you need to be asking yourself, where are they? And for many of your prospects, they are on multiple platforms, but maybe they responded to you on a platform that they're no longer responding to you on. So I'm a fan of, like I said, surround sound. So as an experiment in my business right now, over in the Leverage Coach group, I know a lot of you guys, because you're coaches and you're students of the game, just like myself, you're joining other people's Facebook groups or opting into their email list to see how they operate and see how they work and to get ideas. And I totally understand that many of you guys do that when you come my way. When you join a Facebook group, one of the biggest things you'll notice is there's 3 questions, or 1, 2, or 3 questions you have to answer in order to gain access. Usually one of them is like, would you like some help? It's like a direct, are you looking for some help? And that's a great question for folks who are ready to buy, but many of them aren't going to be ready to buy when they first come to you. So what I've been experimenting with in that 3rd question on my group is saying, hey, I would love to follow more coaches on Instagram. What's your handle so I can follow you? So now they're in my group, which means that they're probably on my email list, that they're probably also friends with me on my Facebook profile. And now I'm going to go to Instagram and I'm going to follow them. I'm going to like them. I'm going to see what they're up to. And I have another channel beyond Facebook and email that I can go and circle back with them around. And I'm going to update their card, their profile, their account in my CRM to notate that, so that if I ever am trying to figure out how do I get a hold of Nancy or Jim, I can go there, there's the link or their handle, and I can go to them and, oh, I'm already following them, or I'm not following them, let me follow them so they get that notification, let me like some of their photos, leave some thoughtful comments, and then by the end of the day, if there's nothing back, let me actually go and send them a DM, or let me just do that all at once. So the third thing you need to ask yourself is, where are they? What platform? And so if you're emailing them and they aren't getting back to you, go and show them some love on Instagram. If they're on Instagram and they're not getting back to you and you need to follow up with them, go and find their membership in your Facebook group or as a friend on Facebook and send them a message. So the 3 questions to audit your pipeline are, number 1, who is in my pipeline? And the big reminder here for you guys, I know that there's a lot in here, guys, that is not new, but are reminders for you in your business, okay? And the first thing that I need to remind you of is that you need to ask yourself who is in your pipeline. And the reminder is you need to be putting them in your pipeline, not managing it from the Instagram DM, not managing it in Facebook Messenger. Use those platforms, but don't manage your pipeline in there. The second thing you're gonna ask yourself is, what message can I send them? When you do this once and you sit down for an hour and you've hit every person in your pipeline at the different stages, from hot to warm to follow up to new or your inbox, like how I operate, what's going to end up happening as you go through this once is you're going to have your messages crafted. And now you can just program them into your phone. Bonus tip, you can program them into your phone as a shortcut. And now you can have that as like the basis to now customize for every person. So when you go to Jim, maybe you don't send him the template, but you add a little customization into it. You add a little energy, you add an emoji or whatever, and it becomes custom for them. You don't want to be thinking about, let me drill this home a little more, because I feel like a few of you guys might be hearing this message and thinking that and the coaching industry might be scummy or something like that because some of our messages are pre-crafted. The idea here is that it takes the thinking out of it for you and for your team if you have one, so that they can be sending the proper messages. And you're always going to experiment, but you're going to customize it with their name, with an emoji, with a detail that you got from them personally, with some of your unique personality, with maybe what you're doing in that moment as inspiration. And if nothing else, you at least have the message and you got them the follow-up if you didn't do any of that. So pre-template out your messages. And if you're rolling your eyes at that, I can promise you getting beyond 3 to 5K a month is going to be really hard because you're not willing to systemize parts of your character and parts of your messaging and communication with them. You only, like, once you find the message that works, why would you not start with that message as a basis for everyone at a similar stage going forward? You don't want to be reinventing the wheel every single time. This will keep you from having the right amount of time to follow up, having enough time to follow up. This will keep you from doing the follow-up because you're going to sit there to make the message. You didn't come up with the perfect message, and then something else gets your attention, and you decide that you're going to go chase another shiny object. The second thing you need to do is ask them, what message can I send them? And lastly, you need to ask yourself, where are they? What platform are they on? Am I surrounding them already? And how can I switch up my communication style? Bonus tip, with wherever they're at. So one of my favorite things is that if you respond in text to me, I'm going to respond with voice. If you respond in voice, I'm going to respond in video. If you respond in video, you're going to get a at your door, and I'm going to say, hey, what's up? Proverbially. It's just you up that level of communication to deepen that relationship with them every single time. Guys, that's today's episode of Client by Client. On the next episode, we're gonna be building off of this here together, and I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how not to follow up. The episode will be titled, Don't Follow Up the Wrong Way Ever Again. So we're gonna be building off of today's topic and talking about the do's and the do nots of how to follow up to get clients consistently. Whenever you are ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. Access. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online coaching business. Access my free tool for getting leads and turning them into clients in half the time by sending me the letters CRM on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy. And I can send you a copy of that while it's still free. It's called GetBookedCRM. It's made for online coaches, and it helps you to get consistent in your online revenue and in your follow-up, so you have a pipeline manager. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got almost 1,000 online coaches over in a free Facebook group where we network, we ask questions, we help each other out, and I share my best resources to help you get leads every single day and get clients every single week. Just message me the word group or comment the word group wherever you're consuming this, and I will get you an invite to join us over in the Leverage Coach group. Lastly, become my next success story. Right now, I'm looking for 3 online coaches to help to grow their online business, and I'm really picky about who it is that I work with. So this is only for you if you're a relationship-focused coach who puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 1 year, or you're at least getting close to it. You would like and have room for 3 to 5 clients organically from Facebook or from Instagram without spending or wasting a bunch of money and time on ads. You have at least 300 friends on Facebook or Instagram or in a group or on an email list, and you're willing to take bold action because you know that your success is dependent upon you. And lastly, you're willing to keep a secret. Most important, then send me the words case study on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy, and I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, what's working for other students in the program, and we can brainstorm a 3-part plan for you. Again, just message me the words case study. Guys, that's today's episode. I'll see you guys back tomorrow with another. I got some hearts, got some thumbs. Appreciate you guys always showing me love and watching this wherever you're watching. It means a lot. I don't always get the most accurate stats for where you're watching and who is, but you guys being here just means a lot. Coming up today, I have a little podcast interview with my man Anthony. We're gonna be talking conveniently about CRM and sales stuff, so that's quite fitting. That will be in about 90 minutes time. Got some stuff here to do in between times and in the meantimes. So hope your day is going well. Drop me a comment. Let me know what's on your radar and any ways that I can support. All right, team. Thanks.